welcome to this episode of the podcast. In today's podcast episode, I want to look at the question: is your day job really too demanding for writing? And we'll look at some time management secrets that we could use to improve our writing. Okay, first things first. For most of us writers, we have day jobs. Writing is not a full-time career. That's not what we do like full-time. That's not what the job we do. We have something that we need to do to survive, and then after which, for others too, we're students too, and then we have to do all those other things, and then we have to write. So the question is, how do I even find the time to write? Right? What do I even need to do? I don't feel like I have the time. How can I even create time to do this thing called writing? It is important to me. I want to do it, but I don't have that time. So how do I find the time? The first thing I usually I'll say that you do is you need to do a time audit. So what is a time audit? Now it might seem that you have a demanding day job, which is true because I've had a job before and I know how demanding it is. Like it just like takes you get home and the only thing you're saying is bed, and you just crash and you wake up the next morning and you're back to work again. Okay, so first thing is time audit. How's your day like? What do you spend your time on? What are you working on? What are you doing? Right? When you First of all, many successful authors started while working full time. Let's see that a lot of writers and authors, the writing itself is not their full time gig. It's not what they do full time. They have professional day job they do, and then do other things, and then they write on the side. Okay, the issue most of us we do have is that we have a demanding day job, so we don't even have that stretch of time to do the task itself, right? So what I mean is that for most of us, we'll be looking for the 2 3 hours, 4 hours of time the professional full-time writer that does writing full-time uses to write. We don't have that leisure. We don't have that. So the question is, what can we do, right? We can write short, consistent writing, and we can split the different writing process. So what I mean is that while on the bus, while going to work, you can be taking on the writing idea and be workshopping it in your head and say, okay, if this stuff idea, okay, this stuff, okay, maybe the writer, okay, maybe the character moved to this, okay, this is what might happen with the character. Oh, the character discovered that this thing happened. Oh, the character wasn't happy, and eventually when you sit down to write, you have it figured out, and what you just have to do is write, right? You speed that rather than having to spend 4 hours and figuring out everything and then writing it at the same time. Now, of course, there's not bad or good, but you don't have that leisure, right? Agatha Christie once said one time that the time washing dishes and doing other tasks is the time she used to usually come up with ideas and those like workshop the ideas, and then when she immediately sees that to write, she does write. Now the thing is this: we want to start with what we have, right? We don't have the luxury of 12 hours to write in a day. We have probably 30 minutes or 45 minutes over chunks of time over accumulated. That's what we have. So question is, what can we do with what we have? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. Not I don't have enough time. No, the time you see most often time we say I don't have enough time. It mean okay, it's not like I've not eaten enough. Okay, I have eaten but I don't have enough, right? It is there but it's not enough, right? Okay, it's not enough to get the job done. So the question is we should ask is that the time you have, what can you do with it? Let's say it's 15 minutes, it's 10 minutes. What can you do with it? So do what you can with that 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? When you have 40 minutes, 4 hours, 5 hours, you do what you can with 5 hours. But for now, let's use the 10 minutes. Now, think of it. If you can't use small chunks of time, what's the guarantee that you're going to use 5 hours to do the work? What's the guarantee, right? There is none. Like the chance of you doing the work itself when you're giving that large chunks of time is slim to zero. Like I've had situations where I'm like, I need to quit my job so I can have time to write. I quit my job, I still did not write. Like I spent my time doing other things, researching, reading. I think the writing itself I did not do it. So I was like, oh, so if you can't really run from it, right? You can't really run from it. Okay, so what are some practical so a day job can actually provide structure and inspiration for writing. Because you go through a lot in a day job. You come out, you working, you a lot of things you see, you observe people while you're going on the bus, and that's if you're doing a day job. But most people do remote jobs. Yeah. So the question is, what are practical advice I have? So first of all is, how can you make time for writing with a demanding job? Here are some strategies. First of all, wake up earlier or use lunch breaks for writing. Okay. So for most of us, we have a job. Sometimes we full house and we have kids. You're a full housewife. You have kids that you need to take care of, right? And thing is that you can either wake up very early before everybody wakes up, and it could be maybe 30 minutes before everybody wakes up, and you get a chunk in 20 minutes of writing time before you even do anything for the day. Or it could be after the day has been done. But the problem with the end of the day is that sometimes you come back from a demanding job and you're absolutely tired compared to in the morning when you wake up and you're refreshed. You are fresh before the job and everything drains you of your energy and become really tired and you lose your willpower, right? So it depends on what works for you, but the most important thing is that you make sure you get to write. That's what's important. The next thing is you want to optimize your commute time for brainstorming or dictation. There are a lot of apps out there that you can use to brainstorm, to dictate, and they would actually save your recordings and all that. So that when you eventually sit down to write, it's just like you're copying notes. So it's not, of course, you'll be writing and using the words, but you already have the story. Like you workshop the story over time with these small chunks of time here and there, the dead time here and there, so that when you sit down to write, your productivity, you're even shocked at your productivity. You're like, wow, dude, I write so in 20 minutes. Wow, that's lovely. Because you've split it. So it's not like you finish the writing that time, split the writing over a period of time. Next thing is we want to use time blocking techniques to schedule writing sessions. The thing is that if we don't schedule it, we might never get it done. So if it's important, we have to find the time and put it into slot. And no matter what happens, we try as much as possible to respect that commitment we've made to ourselves, to show up and to write. Right. And once start with something small, let's not say we write 3-4 hours, start with 15 minutes, 10 minutes, right? And then for over time you see your day would optimize to do things that you're doing. Take for example, you might be really busy, but there are certain things that we're not always doing, and then you started doing them, and certain things are to optimize, like it will shift, it will adjust to fit in the new thing that is in your life right now. Okay. So the next thing is we want to leverage weekends for longer writing sessions. So you can, if you have you can use the weekend, you can do 3-4 hours sprints, marathons. Is it marathon or sprints? You can do 2 to 3 hours sprints during the weekend, right? And then during the weekday, you workshop your ideas, you jot and write a couple of opening lines and all those things. And then the weekend, you spend writing a lot and working on a lot of things too. That's something that works. The thing is that everybody is different, and you have to find what works for you to get the job done. That's what's important. It's not a matter of excuse. Nobody really cares about your excuse that, oh, I could have done this, because I didn't have this, because I didn't have this. Do I look like I care? Nobody really cares, right? That's the thing. The thing is that it's easy to come up with excuses, and most of the time your excuses are valid in a way. But you and I know that if this work is important, it doesn't really matter. We'll find a way to do it. So that's just that. Okay, so the right challenge for this week is to find the hidden pockets of time. So identify and use 3 unexpected time slots for writing this week. Okay, that's just your task. I won't say this week, but that's the task for this episode. So your writing challenge for this episode is to find the hidden pockets of time. Identify and use 3 unexpected time slots for writing this week. So far, I'll come to the end of this podcast. If you got value from it, I'd love for you to subscribe, follow, and give us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. And if you'd like to follow on my journey, go to buildwriting.com/newsletter. And if you want to send me an audio message, go to buildwriting.com/speak, and you'll be able to send me an audio message. I've been your host, Onyemichi Noakonam, and you have been listening to the Build Writing Podcast. Until next time, keep writing.